Welcome everybody to our community meeting. Community meeting. What did I just say then? Community meeting. It's been a little bit of a break from these just due to a lot of stuff on the go for me personally. I just want to apologize for not being able to touch base with the community as much recently.
I'm just gonna watch
I don't
the
want
stream
to
chat because I
do anything, but like I had a long I basically was home for I basically was home for what music?
Ravage, your music, it's so loud.
What music?
Discord's got your music going. It's so loud.
What the hell? Okay, anyway. I think it's done. I think it's because I have to stream my screen for here. But yeah, basically I had a lot of problems where I had to go away for work and leave my dog with my parents, which already took like a week or two away from like being at my setup. And then I went on vacation, which was, I haven't been on a vacation like 8 years, for a week. And then when I came back to come get my dog was attacked when I was getting off the oh, the Discord was muted. Nice. So after all of that, when I went to get my dog, as I stepped off the plane, my mom was there to meet me and basically told me like she'd been attacked and was in surgery or whatever. And that led to me not being able to cross the border. For those who understand how border crossing goes, like if you have an animal, your animal can't look in bad health. And the dog wasn't in good health either. Dakota was pretty rough. She had like big drains in her side and stuff. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Like it was a really bad attack that happened, and I couldn't leave her, unfortunately. Just and it cost a lot of money, to be honest. So it was a lot of stress, a lot of money, and a lot of bullshit. And that's the reason why you haven't seen me as much in and around the server and doing things. I've been doing stuff on the development. Thankfully, Loaded had me set up with a laptop for when I was away, so I could still do work on like the development stuff and everything with the guys and catch up and step in when I needed to. So big shout outs to Loaded for helping keeping things running and caring about the community and like things progressing. That was very kind of them to make sure that we were covered. And then also obviously guys, I have a 9-to-5 job as well that I was also trying to manage, so that's why you haven't seen me as much. So I just want to apologize and just kind of send out that, hey, sorry you guys haven't seen me as much. I know communication hasn't been as good as it could have been, so that obviously will change now that we're back and everything is running smooth. So apologies to the community for that one. Wasn't much I could do there, unfortunately. Just a lot of bad luck and bad timing on a lot of different things. So okay, so with that being said and that out of the way, welcome to the community meeting for November. I don't want to go too much over on the patch reviews before we send the patch. We sent the patch this time not to delay it too much with everything else on the go.
I'm good.
I hope you guys are enjoying our gang update. There's some other things here too for civilians that we haven't rolled out yet. That'll be rolled out in today, tomorrow. Mostly around like the security job, which will be like an actual business where you hire security people, and we can use that as a feeder system for people to prove themselves for PD, in a way for people to have another business that they can run on the server. So you know, there's a lot of cool stuff in this patch, and we have more stuff to come in the mid to near future. Let's get in, I guess. First, the way we'll structure this is I just want to get into the state of the server, some of the things that have been or needing clarification. So let's do that to start. Does that sound good for everyone? Yeah, it should, because you're not gonna be able to answer me anyway. Okay, the first change that we want to make here is a rule clarification. The original purpose of stabilization in the knockout state or the knockdown state, as you can see here visualized, so there's not any debate on it.
What's up, Jazz?
Was that it was meant to be a two-step to be able to confirm yourself or your intention for murder, to be able to take out the police being able to push murder on you, but the intention didn't meet the design, or the intention of the way the players used it didn't meet the intention of the design, basically. So the first change that we're going to be making today is that all players, including PD, and this is to level the playing field because this has been a very frustrating piece for a lot of people, is the fact that we're just going to let people stabilize from the knockout state. This is the most simple way to be able to move forward and fix this situation with the lowest amount of lift right now. And we're going to see how this goes for a little bit and see how this affects firefights. But we want to use the knockout state as a, you know, if people are utilizing the game mechanic in a certain way, we can't go and just continually just ban people for doing it. It's a losing battle, and we're going to fix this. As a wise man once told me, you should not.
You're looking good. Thank you, bro.
You should not make rules for a lack of game mechanics, which is something I really want to make sure that we kind of continue to go forward with in Prodigy. So that's the first big change we're going to be making here, is the stabilization rule. Next up, another thing we can't fight is the Tarkov item stacking. And this one right here is a good screenshot of our friend Fudge XL. And this one really sums it up of what's been happening in 2.0 with the backpacks and stuff. We have people, we photoshopped over this, but this is like a backpack all full of IFAKs, etc. And we're trying to enforce it on like PD side, and then we're trying to enforce it on the criminal side. And the issue is that it's becoming impossible for us to admin intervene in these situations. And it's becoming a bit of a problem where we're really going after the player base, and it's causing a rift between the admins and the players, where we're getting to like when we're coming here to harp on people for utilizing game mechanics, it's rough. What we're going to do instead is we're going to start putting mechanics on like what you can put in these bags, etc., and really limiting it, so that you can't have like 5 backpacks full of IFAKs, etc. We're going to try to make dev work towards these things and fixing them rather than making an admin solution, as I said before. And this right here is a screen from Lincoln Never Escaped Carter, his stream, Fudge XL, just so you guys know. He was double fisting pistols, which was the funniest part of this. I just want to point out. The next big thing that I want to make people aware of is that we're going to be really enforcing this new meta that's happening with a lot of these gangs, where they're sniping the locations of meth runs. Basically what I mean by that is that known meth spawn locations for the meth runs, they're putting motion detectors and cameras so that they know when this stuff is happening. And honestly, get fucked. You're not doing this. Sorry, you're not doing this on this server. I've instructed the admins to blankly ban people for this. You are metagaming. This is the definition. And I think we can all be adults here and say that there are certain things you have to accept in life, not argue and not be a child about. And this is one of these things that the people that are doing this, you're going to have to accept and not be a child about. I am not wavering on this. Period. This is stupid. You're going to places that are literally spawn points, like limited amounts of spawn points for a game mechanic, and putting like, come on guys, like what the hell? Like this is so anti-RP, it's not even funny. Like,
KV, what's up, KV?
This is stupid. When I heard this, I was baffled. I have to be honest. Like, there needs to be a real reality check here on the server, and you'll get it. Believe me, because I'll make sure you get it. It's the reality that you can't continue to take shortcuts in roleplay over and over and over and over again and still call this a roleplay server. We have to say no to this stuff. Like, this can't be allowed to happen. This is stupid. And at what point do we sit down and say, this isn't a roleplay server anymore because this is the stuff we allow to happen? This is stupid. This is blatant metagaming. I've roleplayed now for, what, 10 years doing this shit? And, like, come on. How the... Like, come on. I don't want to swear, but how the fuck is this roleplay? It's not. It just isn't. Like, at this point, this is not roleplay. I'm sorry, guys. It's just not. This is silly. And the fact that this is so widespread on the server is ridiculous. And this will not be accepted. This is below the standard of this server and what we created here. And that's just it. And deal with it. Don't do this shit again. Like, you will be banned. We've created a public server now, and you're more than welcome to play there and do some of this stuff, maybe. I don't know. I'll let the public admins decide what is acceptable in that environment, but I will tell you, with the public server in full swing right now, we are going to be a lot less forgiving in terms of like having to give people 100 chances, because we're not going to take away your server to play. We're just going to limit your options to one of two when it comes to the allow listed server. So I'm just going to be frank. Like, if you're doing this stuff, I'm going to ban you. I don't care. I really don't. I have a standard, and this is below it. sorry. Some people may not like that or feel attacked, but I'm sorry. On this, you should be attacked because this, you know, some of the base concepts of roleplay are like RDM, metagaming, and staying in character. If you can't do those three things, you don't belong on any roleplay server, especially not an allow listed one. The next point I have here is on the state of PD. PD's in a rough spot. I've talked a lot with Hutch over the last weeks, and with Hutch and with Lane, and the reality is that PD is getting beaten on a lot. There's also the other factor that we hired a lot of people that just, I have no comment. And the reality is that we had a section of people that got hired and didn't get to the same standard the rest of the PD, and then it led to a lot of repercussions for our PD that were unfair to a lot of the people who were giving a good effort and good role play, right? The reality is that we need a police department that is pro RP, enables role play, and just isn't that aren't props, right, for other people. And that is like the vast majority of gangs on the server. They treat PD like props, and that's not okay, and that needs to change. So that's pretty much where we're at right now. We have to really take a hard look at our police department on the server, and one of the big things me and Hutch are going to do is we're really going to push for hiring the right people and not making compromises, and doing that more often. We're not doing anything to battle churn, and that's leading to things like our AU police population being a little rough, which is kind of where we're at the moment. Or the fact now that, you know, a lot of the people that had joined were like very win motivated, gun hungry, and then you can see the effect that has. You have like a shooter game come out and they're all gone, right? Immediately. It's just like that, you know. And you can tell that there's a problem when you see those types of trends, because you know what those people are chasing, right? Not that there's anything wrong with playing other games, but like when you can see those starts to trends on like a bigger scale, and that's what we've been seeing in PD. And I've talked to Hutch a lot about it. I think and a lot of other people as well. I won't say the other people I've talked to, but like bigger stakeholders on the server. And we need the PD to be tough, but not anti-RP. And that's like the balance we're trying to find right now. I think we had a really decent balance of that at the beginning of 1.0, and we've been, I think, struggling a little bit to recapture that. And that's my opinion there. So you'll see like some changes kind of come over the next week or two in terms of like trying to restabilize PD numbers, that type of thing. And that's, I hope you guys will notice a more immediate effect. Also, the security job being a feeder will be a big deal. The next big thing, we need to start getting our RP systems in movement, things that create role play. And one of those things is the mayoral election. This
Let's
always
talk
brings a lot
about
of
the
role play
Ville,
to the
man.
server.
Hold on,
Political
Job's back.
intrigue usually spices up some of the gang activity on the server and all of that type of thing. This will be something I think that will be a huge. Oh, someone I forgot to bring up before we get too far in this. I forgot to bring up something on the PD. It's not just PD that's the issue. I want to also highlight that, like, PD being bad just isn't on PD. It's also on the culture of like the gang culture and stuff on the server. Just to be clear, is that some of the interactions that are given to PD are just so subpar and low par that it's not even funny. For the mayor election, this is going to add a lot of roleplay. We're going to start the cycle up this week. So if you're interested in running for mayor, you can consider this. Notice that the mayor election will be coming this week. The writ will drop. So please keep that in mind. This will be a big roleplay boost for the server, I'm sure. So if anyone has questions to that, ask them at the end. But this is just your notice that the mayor election is going to start so we can get that stuff moving. Make sure there's no... Oh, God. I just read something in chat and this completely got me. Oh my God. Okay, upcoming patches. The next thing we have for upcoming patches is we have Runway Royale, which will be basically like Dress to Impress in GTA. This is coming in the near future. We have custom interiors for this, all sorts of custom stuff done. And I think this is going to be a big hit, honestly. I don't think I've seen this in GTA yet. And I think this is going to be pretty cool. This will be coming in the next... What do you want me to do, MyTech? You want me to say... I can say it's coming this... no, I don't know when it's coming. It'll be coming when it's done, which will be in the near future. There will be a new storyline heist as our next point in development. And then I'm just pissing off my developers. Sorry, I think it was very funny. I can see them raging out in the chat, like, don't say anything. Steer, steer, steer. We have a new storyline heist that's in development as well. That'll be the next thing after the PDM for the storyline. We also have a new gang app updates that we'll be working on to improve or add to the levels within the gang update, as well as the additional rooms, which you've seen or haven't probably unlocked just yet to see those rooms. There'll be a credit score update in the near to far future. There also will be Polito and Del Perro housing in the near to short-term, well, basically short-term future, I would say, on some of these things, specifically on Polito. We'll be also releasing a Christmas update, and we'll be working on PD improvements as well. Some of those PD improvements have already been in the server, like the ticket book, which is really cool, actually. I haven't seen a lot of cops use that, but the ticket book actually assigns tickets to a car, and it makes it so that your car accumulates debt and unpaid dues that you have to go and pay off. So it's a pretty big... the ticket book's actually a pretty big deal, to be honest. So we have a lot of patches coming. This is from the actual interior, by the way. This screenshot. This is actually from the Dress to Impress
Costco pizza is dope.
So, or the Runway Royale interior. So it's gonna be pretty cool, I think. And yes, I know what you guys are all asking. Rami has been really excited for this patch. He's been on me all the time about getting Runway Royale in. He's super excited. He had his trailer appearance. We were working on the trailer. That's ready and done. He was wearing his best dress, and he impressed. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you, like, straight up, like, he is really excited.
Oh, it's gotta be fresh.
So,
be fresh. Bro, what is going on, man?
You heard it here first. Like, if you want to see Dress to Impress, like, definitely watch Rami, and not Carmen, obviously, but definitely watch Rami. He's so excited, so excited for this. In actual fact, I think when I told him about this, he was like, "What the fuck is that?" Okay, so the next thing we have is today we launched the web queue. Is that correct, Byte? We are launching it for Allow List as well today. You can say no. It's okay. When I wrote this, we were on track.
What is web queue, man?
I think he's AFK. We should be launching the web queue today. At least for the public server, probably for the Allow List after this meeting. I will let you know when Byte says something here in a little bit. The idea was to launch it today. I don't know if we have to push it tomorrow or whatever. I know we had some slight issues. The reality of the situation here is that the web queue is going to improve things a lot. I'm going to give you guys a little... yeah, hello.
Oh, there we go.
No more crash round.
Yes, it's going live.
Okay, good. So Byte and Explo and the others have been working on this, MyTech, to make this work. We have a brand new website, which you guys have probably seen. And this website is awesome in the way that it has... No longer do you have to go just to 5M to queue. You can queue from your phone, from anywhere in the web queue. Basically, if you log into your Steam, you can go... Or Smack Sneeze well with the design, sorry. Some of the things you can do with the web queue are, queue up from your phone. You can join either the public queue or the Allow List queue or any other servers that we intend in the future. You'll be able to do that from your phone. It shows your prio, and the prio is all automatically managed within the website. So as long as you have all of the correct information, it will link to your CFX account or 5M account, and it verifies whatever active subscription you has with that. So no more like having to post to get your prio and having to do this stuff. You just refresh it every month, or when you buy prio, you just go to the website and say you're missing this prio, and you get it immediately. The other thing this does is it allows us to grant temporary priority, which is going to be a big thing for stuff like people having to go through events or PD priority. We can do those things in advance, so we can grant tickets for a finite amount of time. So like if we want to grant someone prio for like 5 hours to instantly join the server, we can do that. And everything is managed from the website now, and this is pretty good. We also have the ability to ban specific to servers, cross servers, and to do all sorts of things. We also have the ability to broadcast our streamers to the web queue while you are in queue. So like if you're on the public server and waiting to get in, or in the allow list queue, you'll be able to see streamers on a rotation and pick one to watch while you're there, all on that page, which is awesome. It'll show like your place in line, etc. Other things we can do as well for the public server, I don't think we're gonna do this for the allow list server, is you can potentially at one point, which me and Byte are working on right now, is to be able to buy one-time pryos for a boost. Like maybe you can pay to get up like 50 slots or something like that. If there's something really important you want to do for the day, but you don't want to buy a full subscription, but you're okay with spending a small amount of money to be able to boost up the queue a certain amount of way, because we realize that the better option for our player base in terms of like paid options is to have things that can focus more into what your affordability and use case is, and we want to have more options for people. 1 second. I had to turn off all my shit.
Oh, bro, Chad, this pizza's hitting.
Okay. All right, is everything showing again? Good. Now, the next thing we have, we have also the public server here. The big thing we have is that allow listed individuals are getting automatic prio on the public server, so that if you are getting stuck in queue a lot on our main server and you want to try out the public server, we're giving you a bump to be able to help you out there, which I think is fair. Also, the crash priority issues that you guys have all had is going to be mostly fixed, because anytime you leave the game, you'll have a leave priority. Like there'll be a period of time where you can rejoin regardless of what happens.
Not Poppy.
Yeah, just to comment on that real quick. There's also disconnect prio. So if you need to F8 quit and rejoin because you're scuffed or whatever, we've introduced disconnect prio. It's a little bit shorter than crash prio.
Thank you,
so you still got to be pretty quick, but you'll see it on the actual website. It'll show that you have disconnect prio and how long. And when it expires, you can just requeue.
Yep. So overall, it's pretty cool. I'll give you guys a little tour when we're done here. Me and Byte together. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really I think it's gonna improve the quality of life for our players like drastically, and for our staff. So it's a really big win, and it looks good. The website looks better. The rules don't cache weirdly. You know, there's a lot of different big wins here. So I'm really happy with what we've been able to push out.
It looks like your stream in Discord is not working for most people. If you want to just turn it off, turn it back on. I think Discord's having some issues.
Let me try again. There we go. Okay. The next thing we're going to be doing is, as I said, about being able to spin up more servers. One project that we're looking at for January is that we think there's a market out there for a much more serious, like fully story focused server. You know, like those used to be a thing back in the day, and I don't know how many like slower paced servers are out there at the moment, and this is something that we're interested in working on. Probably in the New Year's, but this is a big thing that we're looking at doing here in the future. So this is basically just us putting out there that this is something we're working on. It's
a new server,
and at least
they need to just make
development in terms of like
in the server. So
we started the process of like getting this forward. We have a great framework, and we have great assets. We have a great development team. We have all of the stuff there to be able to offer like an alternative option here, which is something that we are working on in the background. So if there is anyone that's like fully interested in something like that, I know there's a lot of people that kind of miss the days of like, you know, things like family.
Can't spread too much too soon,
slow, right? And that's something that we are interested in at least kicking the can on a little bit and seeing if we can get off the ground if there's enough interest. So this is something we are just announcing, basically our intention to look at this option. So yeah. So that's something that I'm kind of excited about, and we'll see where that goes as we get further into kicking the can on that one. Next up, we have questions. if anyone has questions, you know the rules. Basically, how this goes is you put your hand up and you ask a question.
Oh, please keep this limited, bro. I don't want
chat.
all these people trying to talk, man. You know, motherfuckers just gonna be asking dumb questions.
I'm gonna stop streaming my screen. No need now. Yeah.
Ask about the rule of 6. I'll just talk to Kev about
just to address the general the topic that's been asked a few times. In terms of if you have issues with your priority not showing up on the website, there's a button when you log in where you can actually just
raise your hand, ask for the server.
It takes you to 5M, you log in, it takes you back to us, and then it should sync. If it still doesn't work at that point,
community
community
is a good chat. Really
as a
good.
bug, and we'll have someone look at it.
This is the stuff we've been asking
have their stuff manually synced the first time, but it should be pretty rare.
Yeah. People are following the orders because I'm not seeing anyone raise their hands for talk request.
I want to know if they have DLC. That'd be cool.
I could just start pulling people to speak if you want.
Yeah, if they're not weird questions, definitely. I usually just read and make sure it's not something that's weird and like attacking other people, that type of thing. How's it disabled here? I can allow requests from everyone. There we go. There we go.
Ask it what? Y'all telling me to ask him. Ask him what?
Okay, well, Chipley, you don't have a question that tags me in your chat, so just check the mod view. The same thing with Pedro.
Oh, the DLC. I feel like if they were going to bring it back, they would, right?
Yo!
Oh,
yeah, what's
shit.
up?
This isn't a question. It's more of a statement for PD. I would like to go ahead and announce it.
What the fuck are you announcing?
Listen up, everybody. Listen the fuck up. With PD, one thing with the public server is that Ravage, are you cool with me saying this? Since we talked about last night?
Yeah, I'm good.
So me and Ravage are going to be doing the same thing with the PD in public as we are already doing with the PD in whitelist. We are going to be actively looking for people in the public server that we can poach and we can pull from the public into the whitelist server. Listen, we all know, everyone in the server knows that we are down horrendous when it comes to numbers. So we are going to be increasing academies, but we are also going to be poaching the living fuck out of public. So if you can't get in whitelist and you're struggling, and you can get
my public admins the way you said that.
What should I ask, chat?
If you can get into the public server and you can run PD there, and you're having
think I
issues
should
getting
ask?
into whitelist because of queues and whatever, we are opening the realm of opportunity for
5v10?
everybody. So this is a big deal.
But if cops can get out now, it's going to be a little
utilize
different.
that because we're going to be watching. The admins are going to help us out, and so is myself and Ravage.
To Lou come to the stage before she kills me. Basically, what we're saying is we're going to spot check on the public, and if we can find good people and see if we can raise people to allow listed. Basically, Hutch is being funny because he's a content creator. Please don't stab me, Delu. Jesus Christ!
All right, thank you.
He's a fucking liability. Okay, who else? Who else do we got? Can we get a proxy patch? Let's see how the web queue works. Paramedic James. Sure, go ahead.
Hi. So I was kind of wondering how you're feeling about the current state of MedRP and wondering what's in the future for it.
What?
Could you hold on? Could you ask that again? Sorry.
What he say?
I got distracted.
I'm just wondering what you think of the current state of MedRP and what is sort of what we're looking for in the future for MedRP.
EMS?
So
got you.
MedRP is really complicated because we're in a weird spot in RP where listen, the reality is that most people, the majority of players, like when you poll them, like physically actually poll them and get poll data, what I can tell you is the vast majority of them do not want to sit down and be fucking emoted at. That's the truth. And that's the reality. Is like things have shifted very heavily in GTRP, and at least with this community that we have here, that people aren't interested in that type of roleplay at all. At least being on the receiving end of it.
He ain't
that's
lying.
a reality we have to look at and see how
Ravage
we
ain't
fix
lying.
that for the people who are interested in doing that type of thing. Because right now, the purpose and the thing that people want from EMS is they want them to come and patch them up and give them that little bit of role play, like verbally, and then they want to go and be able to go do their thing because it's so time consuming. And obviously that's not the play loop that a lot of EMS players want, and that's something that we have to talk to our medical player base on, and like how to improve and what the middle ground is going forward, because
that's what I'm saying, Key.
Obviously
don't
we have
force
a lot of
that shit on me, man.
Priorities.
I really don't like that shit.
No,
I like how it is now.
Came to the wipe, but we did
like EMS
medical system and everything. We're at the point now where we have to look at
they help
what
you
can
up.
we do for medical, what can we do
go
for
to the
PD,
hospital.
to like we've done
I
a lot
don't like
for
when you
criminals
gotta
and civilians.
be in the
Now it's time
hospital
to look
chair
at
and
PD
somebody
and
patch you up.
And
I
don't really have
shit.
an answer for you that's good. What I can tell you is that there's a disparity in what most medical role players want versus the truth and reality of what players who interact with med want, and that's the problem. And that's going to be the real bridge we have to gap. And I don't have a good answer.
No, you're fine. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you to the devs for awesome progress.
Yep.
The other thing to announce just for EMS,
bring
I know
DLC
some
back,
of them have
chat.
seen it, but we're introducing an EMS queue as well, similar to PDQ.
Yeah, we have an EMS.
I'm gonna ask.
Which I know they'll be excited about.
I'm gonna ask.
So yeah, it's a big win. Yeah, the EMS stuff is such a medical in 2024 on GTA roleplay is so difficult. Like I can't lie and say like, oh yeah, we can do all this stuff and everything's gonna be great and we'll have room for everything. It's just so. There's just such a difference, you know. So I don't know what to do there. Hello, Vivi.
Hi. I was just wondering if gang assets like masks and vests are going to be available on the public server.
Huh?
Yeah, they should be, but we do have the ability to basically block outside of your gang for these things to be worn. So I would encourage gangs who have ordered stuff and don't want that stuff locked down to please make a request. I can't tell you how long that's going to take, but do that and that can happen.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, so my question was in regards to the cruise system that's in the in terms of racing.
Hmm?
It's really cool, although in comparison to the gang system, it feels a little bit lacking in that there's like no parity in terms of missions or similar things. Are there plans of maybe having that in the future?
I would never expect the parity that you'd see on a gang update that's accessible and usable by everyone versus something that is like a larger niche audience, to be fair, just to set expectations. That's not going to happen. There's just no reason at all. What I can tell you is that the crew system is meant to be able to do different things like having group elo tournaments, that type of thing, 2v2s, 1v1s, 3v3s. And that's the idea around the crew system at the moment. In the future, we're going to look at things like boosting, but that's still a ways off, or we haven't even gotten to the conceptualization stage of how we want boosting to work, right? So it's one of our next up pieces. So I don't know when that's going to happen or how long that's going to take, but that will be the next thing that ties into crews.
Mateo.
All right. That's all I had.
Yeah. What I can say on boosting as well is we don't want to do boosting like it's been done. We want boosting to be interesting and have variety, which it doesn't, right? In most ways it works.
Mateo.
Hello.
Hello.
I just have a question about the queue system, the new queue system. Is there? I wasn't paying full attention. Are you able to try to snipe the queue if you don't have prio, or is that not a thing anymore with the website?
So
queue system?
the queue system, the longer you sit in queue, the higher your like essentially you have your base prio and then you gain more priority over others with the same prio the longer you sit there. So if you sit there and miss a restart because you didn't get in, the next one you're gonna have a little bit more than you would if you had just joined the queue. If that makes sense.
I'm talking about like, so whenever the server restarts, some people have a chance of getting into the server if you're one of the first 250 to connect. It doesn't always happen for people with no prio, but sometimes you get lucky and you make it in. So I'm just wondering if that's a thing or not anymore, you know.
I don't think it necessarily is, and that's something we would engineer around, because those people actually are really problematic if you think about it. Is the people that are consistently queue sniping or have a ping advantage, etc., actually rob spots from people and make it unfair.
Because a lot of good RPers
So
can't afford a 250. I'm not gonna lie. They need to be rewarded.
That's always been a problem with any queue system, to be fair.
What's up, guys? Wait.
Quick question regarding the. I'm sorry. Okay. Quick question regarding the snitch, right? So we talked about the previous. You mentioned in the meeting the cameras and everything you were using people on the met fronts. Now my question was, what about the snitch itself? People are using cameras, people are using motion sensors, and people are using snitch, which is on itself some sort of easy way of making the money and progressing towards everything. So it's like, instead of investing your time and resources to cook some met, you just go there, you pay lousy 5K, and you get basically at least 50K out of it. So what is the stance on that, considering it is almost the same metagaming as everything else is, or the previous mentioned stuff is?
I mean to equate a snitch or game mechanic that can give a tip off to metagaming and power gaming is insane to me. Not to be rude, but it's like, this is like the type of thing in the roleplay world, I guess, that's kind of become normal, of people just saying things are metagaming or power gaming, and I don't agree with that whole. It's like some type of movement that's happening among a large number of role players. They just call it they call it that is just silly. To be honest, I'm not trying to be mean. It's just the reality.
No, they got a role play for protection. Oh well, it's just an easy 5K for 50,000.
What it is, it's
well,
supplying.
Why is it so easy for you
to a
just to
situation
become
where people
a
can
cook?
counter your
I could use the same thing,
in
right?
Something that's supposed to be dangerous, which is the criminal
Correct.
underworld. And that's the reality.
Well, in the criminal world, why are you cooking meth?
Game or these higher end things,
and you're not in a
you
higher.
have to deal with the reality that other crews can snipe your stuff, right? And that's the mechanic.
You get what I'm saying, chat?
Do I think that it creates things too frequently? Yes, I do. I think it creates too much going on at once, but that will even out as the gang system moves forward, and then we'll reduce the amount of snitch calls towards meth runs. Like, it'll just even out over time. But I categorically disagree with calling that metagaming or power gaming. I think that's silly.
Okay, are this in plan, like, to get at least some more trees in the areas of sandy, and to make it a little bit more hard to find those, as currently the smoke is so visible and from distance, and there is literally no coverage.
He's in the wrong game right now, chat. He's in the wrong game right now. He wants more trees and coverage.
Did he disconnect or did I? I did.
Thank you, Doug Bunny. Like, why do they expect to have this big arc and just not talk to nobody, not connect with the big gang, or become a big empire themselves? You know what I'm saying? Oh, can we cover smokes? Can we cover this so they don't The whole point is like, meth game shouldn't be for everybody, or someone should RP their way. Like,
I got stitched on.
Hey, CG, can we pay you for protection? Hades, can we pay you for protection? Shit like that.
Ooh, things don't sync between
you
them.
You can't be a solo meth cooker, bro. It's just not happening.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah. Did you crash?
Yeah, Discord crashed. Okay. What else do we got? I have to head to the Red M meeting in a few minutes as well.
Yeah, there's a ton of questions in here. If you guys aren't posting the actual question and you're just saying you have a question, I'm not gonna move you up. So try again.
Damn, that's what you gonna do to me, Dev? Put me in, coach.
Hello? Athena?
Can't hear you. Go ahead and request to speak again.
Okay.
Oh.
Hello?
Yeah, Athena, we can't hear you.
Yeah, let's move her out. Invite this guy is a good question.
Hello.
Hi.
I just want to get clarification on the third party rule. I've noticed a lot when doing meth counters and stuff, there's other groups that are kind of third partying it. And I just wanted clarification on that rule.
Yeah, third partying isn't allowed. That's your answer. Yeah, I've banned people for it. Personally, actually.
It's been happening very, very frequent with the meth counters by lots of different groups.
Yeah, report it.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Did you have something to say on businesses in general?
I can't remember. Oh yeah, we have 2 restaurants that are open. It's yeah. What are the restaurants we have open, and what are the businesses that are open right now that we need people to run? Also, I'm instructing Gav to like eliminate any businesses that are inactive or not being used, just to be clear. So take this as the warning shot. Go ahead.
So we're gonna open Stroke Masters this week to get a second mechanic shop, and then we'll be looking for the third. Just deciding on like the logistics of where that should be, and then we also have Up and Adam that needs to be filled, Cluck and Bell that needs to be filled. The bigger restaurants are going to be on hold because they're not exactly conducive to roleplay right now. Nobody's gonna go sit down in a restaurant.
What restaurants are closed?
The Koi and the Marina. Those will be a little bit longer term projects.
I'd say just well, I'll listen to you later.
Oh, Baby J, appreciate the 7 months. Thank you.
But
I mean,
I just go for it. If we can find like the good people to run them, let's do it.
yeah, I mean, we're still accepting applications. It's not like we're saying no.
Okay.
It'll just be easier for the fast food restaurants to be open.
Just say it
quicker.
right. You don't like seafood.
We don't have seafood currently.
All right. Well, you guys heard it. There's businesses open. Apply for them. Make sure you're getting out to do it. I've instructed Gav and the admins to look at businesses that are inactive and be a little harder on those ones in terms of like removing them and reassigning them because I think it's important for server health. We need to make sure things are nice and active. Thanks, Gav. Appreciate you. Is that Maximus?
Hey,
Hey, what's up,
can you
dude?
hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, not too much. I actually had something about the third partying as well. I think you just answered that. Obviously, there's still counters that can still happen. So, for example, if somebody's doing a meth run, you know, you can have another gang go and counter that meth run. Now, you've already talked about the sensors and the cameras not being able to be used for those specific purposes at the meth pass-in spot, the snitch spot, those sort of things. I was wondering about people that are countering it without using the coins. So, for example, if somebody is constantly looking around at the known spawn points for the different meth runs, but they have not used the coins at the snitch to be told where to go, is that considered metagaming and or rule break? Because oftentimes, virtually every single time that you do a meth run, somebody just conveniently shows up and it becomes a counter, so to speak. So if that's the case, is it possible to make it so that the only way you can do a counter is to use the snitch, where you're using the 3 coins and the 5,000 to then get told where to go, opposed to conveniently looking around at the spots, seeing somebody doing it, and then countering that.
See, in my opinion, I think it should be the snitch. If you organically find someone, I think for the most part, based on our rules, we have some provisions in there about something being for the better of role play.
Yeah, if there's a dude
right?
just looking for
better
it,
of role
stupid.
play,
But if you find it,
there's
like we've
some
found
type
it
of
so many
ad hoc
times.
situation that happens where circumstances lead to you stumbling upon something, I think that's fine. But I think the reality of the situation is that we have a lot of players, and I think this is the nature of GTA roleplay as a whole right now, that, well, they're dirty metagamers. They'll just go around those places and just look and just say, "Ooh, I just rolled along them," and it'll be the most. But the nice thing about our admin team is we're really good at spotting those people out, to be fair. And we know who those people are, and we call bullshit on a lot of people when they're obviously bullshitting us. I think maybe I can take this back to the team and look for come up with a better method or system. But I think that's a good point, is that there are a lot of people that are just going to go around and conveniently be at those spots waiting for the thing to happen.
Correct. Yeah, that's cool. And the last thing is with the meth cooks as well. Is it okay for a group per se to be driving around looking for people that are cooking meth, opposed to using just the coins to find a very specific spot? Or is it the snitch sort of the same thing with the meth counters? Is it okay to kind of organically go out there and look? Because then we also run into the same issue where there could be those dirty metagamers that know a cook is going on via proxy of streamers, and they just so conveniently show up. The problem is when they do that and then somebody actually uses the coins, now they're third partying their thing, which is now a rule break, but they actually did it the right way through the snitch, which means they should have the right of way to actually do the job, opposed to the people that conveniently found the cook in the first place, which has happened multiple times.
I would say that people who paid the coins take priority, but yeah, it's like, how do you know that? Leave this with me a little bit and let me talk to the devs.
Bro, it all ruins.
Team about
OTT's right, bro. Everything ruins just from fucking metal gamers, bro. I think you should just report them and get them banned, bro.
That are just doing this fucking constantly, right? And it's all they do. And we have this whole gang update and other things, and people are still doing it. So I think we're under the impression that as we diversified the things we have here, people would stop leaning on this so heavily.
Great.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all I had, man. I appreciate you answering. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks. I also want to point out the amount of people said there's that Ravage talking, and I just want to say how fucked up that is, because it's all because me and him have similar ways of talking, because we're both from the Atlantic provinces. Like that's fucked up, guys. I'm sorry, that's fucked up. Listen, that's not cool. All right.
You don't want to just, I know what Ravage said, you don't want to just make shit a rule, because then sometimes you make a shit rule, it stops RP. Just like robbing a cop, right? It's a rule.
So I noticed
but
on
it
the
kind of
website
stops
that the rules
RP.
have been very
It's like, you know, you're in jail, you shoot down some cops, you might need a cop gun, or you need to be able to take a cop's phone and plant some evidence.
Rules. Now, before the gang update, turfs will be considered like, you know, like a street.
It's just
barrio
shitty RP
or something
bro.
like that. But now, like for instance, with us, our turf is pretty much taken up all of Mirror Park. So my question is, with the conflict gang turf rules, has anything changed for that, or could you clarify?
No, the turf
with such a large.
No, the turf. Okay. The turf is clearly outlined on the rules page and won't change. It's a small area, a building, an alleyway that is tagged and appropriately labeled.
Okay. On the rules page on the website, I did not see that anymore. Which is why that question came up.
Did you port it on the rule page?
No. Or yes, yeah. When we didn't have access to the old site, so rules page will be updated within the next 10 minutes. So don't worry about it.
Good catch. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Reporting that.
Yep. Thank you.
I know those rules inside and out, so that's why that caught me off guard. I was like, what do you mean that's not on the rule page? Outside of that, I have to go run to the Red M community meeting, but I'll take one more question.
Trying to find you a good question.
Yeah, there's one there about loot box RP, but loot boxing isn't RP, so I can't really answer that question. The top tier weed effects for sure. Oh, let's take Skoogs. That's an important one. That'll be what we end on.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right, doing okay. Yeah, so my question is about the weed. So on the last patch, all the effects on the top tier weed strains, like the epics, was just off, just turned off. And I feel like those strains made a lot of RP for the people that wanted to stick on the weed stage and not necessarily progress further up through the drugs and all that, right? And I was wondering if there's anything coming as far as effects to like those strains, or if weed is meant as more of just a gateway thing to get you into the higher tiers of crime.
Nope. So what I'll tell you is all drugs were nerfed in totality to make way for going forward. But the weed is most definitely a gateway drug. And what I mean by that, it's the gateway drug in which is a gateway drug in real life. Out of most people, what is one of the biggest problems with marijuana and the dangers of it, buying it on the street, and why a lot of places are trying to legalize it, the government?
Well, it's because the same guy sells something else, right? Isn't that like the argument?
Well, what's the biggest epidemic in the United States right now for drugs?
Oh shit, I live in Norway, man.
Fentanyl.
Okay, yeah.
And why and how is it becoming such a big epidemic?
That's because the government sells it, but this ain't the forum for that, Ravage.
No. I'm spelling it out for you what weed is being used for in our server.
I ain't that smart.
Let's put it this way. You see the things on the map of like whether people are addicted or not. If you just make a drug, how are they going to get addicted to it? If you're just going to buy your random drug?
Okay. I see what you're saying, right?
We have weed lacing. We use the weed as the lace for you to be able to get people addicted to buy your drug and for gangs to peddle influence. That's the system. The weed has a huge advantage in this patch beyond what I had before. Believe me, your gateway drug is a gateway drug now, and it's very valuable to farm weed. And the weed is for the normal player to be able to farm, and they'll be able to sell it to the bigger gang so that they can lace joints. And then they can get people addicted to their drug, and they can sell their drug more and peddle the influence in the way in which it works with the system, which I won't break down here. It literally is the gateway drug.
Okay. Well, perfect. Yeah, no. Well, that was my question.
Yep. So listen, buddy, you got lots of RP opportunity with that.
Yeah. It's just I play a character that doesn't really move up the chain, right? I still rob fucking cars because I think it's fun, and you know, it was more like just like a visual effect or something like that, just to distinguish them from each other. Because the RP of going into somebody's living room and throwing three bags of weed on the table and saying, "Hey, these are gonna do different things," kind of cool.
Right? I mean, we can look at adding in visual effects back to the weed. Like that's not a big deal. We removed a lot of the bigger buff effects to all the drugs because we wanted to move the drug tiers up, and they did too much.
I agree, and I don't need to smoke weed to be good in a gunfight, right? I'm shit no matter what.
That's true. I've seen you in a gunfight,
dude. I suck, but
that's true.
But thank you so much.
Fucking
I appreciate
relatable.
y'all looking into it.
Yeah, man, for Hutch too. Okay,
y'all have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, you too, dude. All right, we're gonna end it there. I think like we gave enough of a meta unlock for the server for people to be able to start figuring stuff out. I have to go and do the Red M community meeting, but it was great. I hope everyone enjoyed this, and I gave you enough valuable information to have made it worth it. I'm glad we had a touch point today. And yeah, hopefully this was up to our normal standards. I've been a little, you know, I had to rush this in a couple of days. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys later.
W. Again, stream.
All right. Into the red M1 now. Give me a second.
Oh,